Today we'll try to create one EC2 instance and we'll try to able to log into that one and we'll see. So basically, if you go here and before that one, we have to do one more thing also. If you see here on top left corner, these all are the regions. Like yesterday we discussed, like there are multiple regions in orange color circles are there. These are the regions. Like currently we are in Mumbai region, and this one is like the region name. And in this region, actually this map is old one, so it is showing two availability zones, but actually there are three zones. Like we discussed, like this one, for every region there will be three availability zones. Mumbai also has three availability zones, and some of them are disabled. Like for my account it is disabled, and we can use manage regions to request for them to enable. If we are in near to Hyderabad, we can enable this one also. Once it is launched properly, we can enable this one also, and we can able to use this region. But currently we will use Mumbai region only. And if we come left and click on services, if you go to compute, here the EC2 is there. You can click either this one, or if you already are using that one, it will be showing in this list, recently visited list. You can use this one. So then it will go to EC2 dashboard. So this is the EC2 dashboard. If you see here, these are the things what it is showing. These are the instances currently running 0, and elastic IP is like a static IP through which we can access. If we have deployed any website on this instance, we can access using this IP. There are some 10 elastic IPs are provided by Amazon. If you want, we can request more also, but by default there will be 10 elastic IPs available. So if you get an IP, it is like a static IP which is assigned to network. We can assign that one to our machine and we can access from outside world. So this key pair is like basically, generally when we create an instance in the cloud, we are not allowed to use username and password to log into that machine. This key pair is a combination of private key and public key pair. The private key is with us, the public key is on the mission. If the both matches, then not matches, there is some encryption algorithm by which it will compare. It is like a lock only. We have the key and the lock is with the Amazon instance mission. So if that key matches with that lock, then we are able to log into that mission. So once we are creating that instance, then the key pair will be generated. So these snapshots are the backups. We can create a backup of the EC2 instance. And this auto scaling we'll discuss later. Auto scaling is like when the users are going to increase, like automatically we can increase the missions will be created. Like as we discussed the scalability concept, using this auto scaling groups, we can achieve that scalability. One of the topic we discussed in the earlier class. And elasticity also will come through this only. Like once the user base is going to reduce, there are some metrics we can consider, like CPU usage and RAM usage, and there are a lot of metrics like that. Based on that metrics, we can configure using this auto scaling group. Then based on that, the instance creation, the missions are creating, those we can increase and decrease. We don't have to manually go and create the instances. It will automatically, once we configure these options, the Amazon console itself will create the missions for us. based on the user requests. The user are requesting too much our application, so the CPU or some RAM resource will increase. Based on that, it will the machine is going to spin one more mission. Like that, if the mission is idle for some time, we can delete some of the resources. Can achieve using this auto scaling group. So these instances and these are the running instances currently, but these are total instances. Like we can shut down the instance. All this will come under this instances group. Load balancer is like if we have multiple instances, like multiple instances we created. Generally, there are some load balancing types like round robin, those kind of things. If we if there if there are two users coming in, one will be sent to one mission and the other will be shared to other mission. There are two missions. The balancer will do is like basically will send one request to one mission and the other to other mission. Like that, it will balance the load. Security groups is like the EC2 instance as some ports open outside world. So whoever uh, was able to access, and we can restrict the IP addresses who can access those kind of things we can create under these groups. Volume is basically a hard disk kind of thing which we are going to attach to this instance. By default, one volume is attached already to this instance. While we are creating, we'll mention those properties. So now we'll try to create one instance by using this launch instance. So if you want, we can give some name here. Otherwise, you can leave. So I'll give web server 1. So yesterday we discussed about, okay, we did not discuss, like, okay, we'll see. These are the operating systems which are available for installing on that EC2 instance. By default, this one is there, Amazon Linux. If we want, we can choose any one, like Mac OS is there, and Windows also will be there. If you want to install Windows, we can use this one also. But for logging into that instance, we have to use remote desktop on our machine. We use Windows. We can use Linux also, but make sure while you are trying this one, make sure that free tier is available is there. If you are using other than this, you are going to get charged by AWS, Amazon. So this one is not free tier eligible. So first two are there, and Ubuntu also will be free tier. Red Hat also is there. This one also is free tier eligible. We basically consider either Ubuntu or this one. These two are only useful for us. Otherwise, it is complete preference or user preference. So there are a lot of things like Debian, flavor. In Linux only, there are a lot of flavors. If you scroll down, all these are the flavors. These are basically operating systems which we are going to install on that EC2 instance. Now we'll select this one. Come here and use this one. Click on the select. So this was selected, and the kernel is this one, OS. And if you come here, right now we have selected AMI, the OS image, and the second option is instance type. Instance type is like basically what kind of hardware we need. So there are some naming conventions for this one. Like currently we are selecting T2 micro, and you see here it is free tier eligible. Like I said, you have to choose always free tier eligible, otherwise you will get charged. And also one more thing is like after creating the mission and using that one, you basically have to terminate that mission. Otherwise, your resource will be charged based on hourly. So if it is not useful, you immediately terminate that mission. I'll show how to terminate also at the end of this session. So you see here, there are starting with T, and if you go down, there are a lot of configurations are there, like C series, R series, HP series, P series. This one is T series. T series is basically general purpose usage. Like since we are not creating this instance for production, so we are using it for, since we are not creating it for production, so we'll use it as a general purpose. And also we choose the free tier eligible only. And if you are in a company or some kind of thing, so then based on the application's requirement, you have to choose that this mission configuration. Like if you want more compute power, you have to choose C series missions. If you go down, see here, there are C series missions. If you want more compute power, you have to use this one. And C means compute power, like CPU power. And there is one more R. R is for RAM. The RAM size will be memory optimized, like R series are memory optimized. If the application is going to use more amount of RAM, then you have to choose emission configurations of type R. It will be somewhere at the end. See here, these R series are memory optimized, and like that, there are P series also, which are for graphics intensive applications. Like if you want to use some video editing softwares or Photoshop kind of thing, some applications like which are more graphic intensive, like if you are going to play games, so game servers, those kind of things, you have to use P series machines. And there is one more HP series also. So that HP series is like high performance computing. Like if you are going to do some simulations or deep learning algorithms, so those kind of machines we have to use. Basically, these are the types. Now currently we choose T2 dot micro instance, which is free and you can use without any charges. So next thing is key pair. Like I said, we are not going to log in using username and password. That is disabled by default. You cannot log in with the username and password. You anyhow have to generate this key pair. So I already have two key pairs, but I'm going to generate new one. Click on this one, click create new key pair. So if you click on this one, it is going to ask two types of things. This one is for putty. Yesterday I have told to install putty. If you have already installed, you can click open that one and keep aside. So you basically have to give the name of that key pair. So I given some name and keep this one. If you are using putty, you have to use this option like .ppk for use with putty and click on create key pair. So you'll get this key pair. If you lose this key pair, then you're not able to access that mission. So this key pair is there. So if you lose that key pair, you will not be able to access this one. There is separate process for uh, logging into that machine, but directly you cannot log into that instance if you lose that key pair. You have to keep that safe once the pair is downloaded. Even Amazon don't have that key pair, only it was downloaded one time. So these things keep it default, like VPC, default VPC and subnets, all those things you have to keep it default. So here I'll show the security groups. Once we created the mission, we can configure them. But for now, keep this one default. So here you see these three things like SSH. Basically, if we want to log in, uh, we have downloaded the key pair. No? So basically, that putty is going to use this port, SSH port. We are doing SSH login only to this machine. So you have to enable this one. If you are not enabling this one, you will be not able to log in using putty also. And if you are not selecting this one, later you have to go to security groups and then you have to enable there. Then only you will be able to log into this machine. So these are the 80 port. This one HTTP is 80 port and this one is 443. If you are going to deploy website, you have to enable these two ports. Otherwise, it is not necessary. So next thing, like I said, this is the disk, like hard disk kind of thing. We are attaching 8 GB. And if you click on this one, this type is, it is attaching SSD disk for this one. If you want more IO intensive operations, you can use provisioned IO. This IO is uh, like if you want more disk speeds, like you can request these two things. Otherwise, by default, you keep this one only. And there is one more thing also, like the old magnetic hard disk. This one is very slow. If you want, you can choose that one also. Now we have chosen. There are some more advanced options. We don't have to choose this one. Leave them as it is. Now, if you come here and click on launch instance, it will start creating the instance. So once it is created, it will show the successfully initialized, instantiated. So this is the ID of that instance. So if you go to instance, the server is still creating. The state of the server will be shown here. Once it is created, it will show as launch. You can see here the mission type, whatever things we selected, all the, and this one is the availability zone. As I said, this is the availability zone. There are two more. One B is there, one A and one C also is there. And there is one more thing like security group. Okay, this one is here. And this one is the IP address of that mission, public IP. Using this only, we should be able to log into that mission. So you click on here, it will be copied. Click on here, the IP will be copied. So now it came to running state. Now open putty. So, and you paste the IP address here in this box. You go to SSH and auth credentials. Here you have to paste the location of this key which we have downloaded. Class 2 PPK Amazon has downloaded. No? You have to give this key path. This is a kind of private key. So now you can save this one by giving some name or you can directly log in. You save for further instance, you can use this one again. So click on save, it will be saved here. So now open that one. First time, if you are logging into that mission, first time it will going to ask, show this message. You can simply accept this one. And the username of this one is by default is EC2 user. So EC2 dash user. Have to remember this one. Somewhere it will be showed like while generating the key or somewhere. You have to remember that one. Like this is the default username. So once you are logged into this one, this is the Linux mission. As I said, you can run all the Linux commands on this one. So basically, you can see all the directories, all those things. So we'll check whether the Python is there or not. Python 3 is there. So we are successfully able to create one instance and we are able to log into that mission. So now we will try to create one application kind of thing, like basically one HTTP server. We will try to install, we'll try to create one HTML file and we'll try to able to access from our browser. So for that one, either you can create it here, like using command lines, or if you want more GUI kind of thing, like we said yesterday, I asked you to install WinSCP also. You can use this one. So if you go here on both sides, it will show whatever uh, saved instances in the putty, all will be imported here. Username is EC2, EC2 user, EC2 dash user. Now we will try to create one file here. Basically, we'll create one HTML file. All these things are not required. Now simply saying hello. Once this file is saved, we'll try to run Python server. So now we started our server, like so. We have mentioned one port number here. If you see here closely, we have mentioned 8080 port. We try to access this one using this public IP. Currently, we are not able to access. The reason why we are not able to access is we have not opened that port. So for that one, we have to go to security groups. And this security group is assigned to this main instance. You click on that one. By default, this one is open. We have choose this port to open, like 22 port SSH, port number 22, which is used for SSH. That's why only we are able to log into that mission using that port. So now we have to add one more port also. Click on edit inbound ports and add rule. keep it custom TCP and add 8080. And here, this is the ports which is allowed, like everyone we are allowing. And click on save rules. So now we have opened inbound rule. One more inbound rule. 8080 port is opened. Now if you try this one, you see here, we are able to access our HTML page. So this one we are using IP address we are able to access. Using this IP. Like I said earlier, once you stop this mission and you restart this mission, this IP is going to change. Like this IP will change. Once your mission is shut down and if you restart that mission. So in the beginning, we saw something like elastic IPs. So you have to assign one elastic IP to this one, and you have to purchase one domain name, and you have to assign to that mission. So then we'll get a domain name like something like google.com. So using that one, our application will be working. So currently we deployed one HTML page and we are able to access that page through that IP address. We simply ran this command to serve that file. Python has a feature for simulating that server. So this one, using this command, we have serving that HTML file. So up to now, we saw how to create an instance and we are able to log into that instance, and we created simple HTTP server and we are serving one page. So today I'll stop here. So tomorrow we'll discuss other topics. Up to now, do you have any doubts? So okay, one more thing is there, like after completing your task, so you have to shut down this, not shut down, you have to terminate this mission. Otherwise, your resources will be going to consume. Like you have only 750 hours of EC2 instance. So if you right click on this one and instance settings, instance state, terminate delete instance. If you click on this one, it will terminate. So if you see this one, it was disconnected. Immediately it got disconnected, and WinSCP also got disconnected. So and the state is going to shut down, and we are not able to access that one also. Sorry, I forgot the IP. But if you see here, so we are not able to access that page also. Now it got terminated. You have to do this one, otherwise your free tire is going to exhaust. This one is very important.